So, you're the owners of Audrey's Coffee House and Lounge. How do you make time for family while being entrepreneurs in the spotlight?
Mm, that's why we love Dawn Professional
Yeah.
manual pot and pan detergent because it's one of the products that Jared can use at Audrey's that makes him work smarter, not harder, and
Yeah.
gives him a little extra time so that like even if it cuts out 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there throughout his day, that's 20 minutes that he gets to come home earlier to us because he knows that I'm always complaining about like, oh, you say you're going to be home in 30 minutes, so you'll actually be home in an hour. Because,
Yeah.
like, I love that he works so hard. He has the craziest work ethic. It's wonderful. You want, like, your husband to have that, but then you also want him to be home. So, that's where he gets to cut out some time with the dishes right now.
Yes. So I'm at Audrey's all the time, and as a business owner, just always looking for efficiency. And so Dawn Professional really allows me to wash dishes faster and get a superior clean, which is very important because cleanliness is very important in a restaurant. And I really care about Audrey's, so I'm there all the time, and I'm always washing dishes and using the three-bay sink. So Dawn Professional and I have become very close friends recently.
I really want a three-bay sink now that I've used this though, because like it's different than the one that you use in your kitchen.
Well, of
The
course,
Dawn
it's a
And I'm
commercial.
like, this commercial system here is really nice.
Yeah.
Like he's got all these baked on pots and pans with like the commercial, like, restaurant
Yeah.
grease in it. And I'm like, how did this just like melt off? It's amazing.
But yeah, it's great. So it does melt off.
Yeah. How do you guys make time for family?
Too much time for family.
I mean, Ashley does a fantastic job. Like I think it's uh when I think of family, I think of obviously us three, but I also think of, your parents and stuff like that. You're always FaceTiming, always calling. Ashley has it's funny, I was thinking about this last night with Dawson, because he is in a mode of really showing affection right now, of
Yeah.
hugging and
Oh,
kissing, and he is he's not ashamed to just kiss you or to like
he just
hug
like
you,
when he
or
sees you in the
is
morning, he just
emotional.
like puts his hands on your
Yeah.
face.
And he's like reaching for you.
He's like this.
And he's definitely like Ashley in that sense, which is a wonderful quality to have, because Ashley is the type of person that will just call or talk or do the things that a lot of people say, like, "Ah, I wish I would call, my mom, or I wish I would tell my dad
I should
that I
call
love him."
friends more though. I'm not good with that.
Yeah, but you have to focus and prioritize on certain things, and friends understand. But my point being is Ashley does a fantastic job at that, and I try to do, and I think I do a pretty good job. But Ashley's far superior, just like the Dawson, jeez,
The Dawn
Dawn
and
professional
the Dawn
superior pain.
professional.
What have you guys learned being in the restaurant business so far?
Oh my gosh. Well, he's been in the restaurant business for literally since he was 16, 17. So
16, yes.
so he was a busser. And so like this is his question. I don't think there was anything the lifestyle hasn't surprised him. Now,
Mhm.
like a lot of the like managerial stuff is quite overwhelming, but
Yeah, it's more so. I think I've always loved working in restaurants. There is an addiction to it. Um, and there is this camaraderie that you have with the people that you work with,
Mhm.
because you just work hard together and you work really together as a team. I love those aspects. I love the feeling of accomplishment that I get when people come into Audrey's and enjoy it, or are really uh, not surprised, but just happy with their experience.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just I love working physically. Like I like working with my hands and really
Yeah.
having a running gun, and think quickly on my feet and make decisions. I've always enjoyed those aspects. So I would say those are things that I really enjoy. The only I mean, yeah, there's multiple downsides of owning a restaurant, but the hardest part is just the idea of having to make the necessary decisions in order to make money, because there's
Right.
so little margin. The margins are so small for restaurants that it's like you really have to keep labor. I know it's so ridiculous to say, but not ridiculous, but like probably boring. You have to keep labor at a certain point. You have to keep food costs at a certain point, so on and so forth. And in order to do that, you have to kind of really sacrifice some things, and especially with the labor, because you're talking about human beings who are depending on money. And like I feel responsible for their, income. So those are the hardest parts of the job.
I'm always like, Jared, make a TikTok or Instagram reel breaking down the money each week.
I mean,
It'd be so interesting.
there's
Those
no
things are
way.
really
I mean,
trendy right
people can like learn from that,
now. No, I think it's
especially
so.
like yeah, no, yeah, like teacher, like you're like it's like school right now. Like I feel like people take like a course or something and like learn because it's like real world experience rather than just like being taught it when you actually have lived it. You can share your experiences with other people and they can learn from you.
Yeah.
So you're expecting your second child. Congratulations. How are you preparing for baby number two?
How are we preparing? We're kind of pretending it's not happening.
Well, it's more so
Everything's in the
like
basement. Like honestly, just like we have everything. So I don't know that like there's much to that's what's really nice about the second is you don't have to worry about like learning how to use a whole bunch of the baby contraptions or just like learning how to take care of a baby. It's just going to be something that I don't think we can even prepare for because it's life with a toddler and a newborn, which is something that like obviously we haven't experienced that before. So we'll see, but I think it's going to be a come as it comes type of situation.
Yeah, and I also think it's such a stereotypical answer because I feel like so many people and so many parents can relate, and it's true that like the firstborn you're so concerned about everything, and then the secondborn you're like everything's gonna be fine. Everything's
We were pretty chill with Dawson too. We weren't even like really super.
But it's just like like yeah, he'll be sleeping in the cradle, and like just keep the thing alive.
What has motherhood and fatherhood taught you both about yourselves?
I think that I can be more patient than I thought I could be with Dawson and just in general.
Yeah, you're very patient with Dawson.
It's funny. I'm not like the most maternal pregnant person, but I am very maternal when the baby is out of my body. Like
Yeah.
I have to admit, I didn't feel like this intense connection to Dawson when he was in here, nor do I feel it now with this baby. But then like when they're out, it's a whole different thing. And I think that concerned me with Dawson. I was like, this kid's making me sick and totally uncomfortable. Like, am I really gonna like this life? And then like they come out and you're obsessed and all good and totally in love.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know.
So I've been more patient and thankfully way more maternal than I thought while pregnant. But I always wanted like kids, and I always thought that I'd be good with my own kids.
Yeah, you're wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, she's fantastic.
It's very sweet. But...
It's true. I don't know. That's a great question. I'd have to really think about what has fatherhood taught me. He's still so young that I feel like the dad that I want to be, I'm hoping is still ahead
from
of
Boy Meets World.
because I think it's just different. At least in our relationship, I feel like, of course, like I love cuddling with Dawson and playing with him, but like I really am excited for the days where I get to have a conversation with him and talk to him, guide him, or attempt to guide him. So that's kind of like real I'm very much looking forward to. And I think now it's more so like, of course I love playing with him and I love hanging out with him, but it's different.